Cheryl Bowen here. I just recently won my third Lady Bass Classic Championship on Grand Lake of the Cherokees in Grove, Oklahoma. I'm going to go over with you the 4 different techniques that were the ones that I relied on, some more heavily than others, during that win October 9th, 10th, and 11th, 2024. I'll go in reverse order for these lures. And I say reverse order not because they weren't beneficial, but because of the amount of time that I spent actually utilizing them to catch fish. When fish were schooling, and there were lots of bait fish, when fish were schooling, I would go to the Lucky Craft 1.5 in the Ghost Shad. I had this on a Johnny Morris Platinum Series rod, 7'1" medium heavy, with the Johnny Morris Platinum Series reel in an 8:3:1 gear ratio. The line that I chose to use, and I choose to use that on most of my crankbaits, is a 10-pound Bass Pro XPS fluorocarbon. When the bass would come up schooling, oftentimes I could not get my top water out fast enough, and understanding the fact that, or my belief is, that when the fish are busting, not every fish is on top of the water busting. There are other fish down below. Sometimes the bigger fish, in my opinion, tend to be waiting for the smaller fish to, you know, kind of knock the little bait fish crazy, and they'll take the ones that are floating down, that have been stunned, and they'll make a lot easier meal out of it. And so this allowed me to go down below, even if I didn't catch them on top, to be able to catch the fish that were down below still chasing all of those baits. In the super shallow water, my next technique, sometimes used a fluke as well, but for the most part it was a Wacky Rig. Bass Pro Shops 7'1" medium heavy Platinum Series rod with a Johnny Morris Platinum Series reel, 8:3:1 gear ratio. This also is on 10-pound Bass Pro XPS fluorocarbon. I use a bobber stopper at the top of this rig with a 1/16 ounce weight to give myself a little bit of mass. And the hook that I use is the VMC circle hook. This is a 3. It allows me to be able to do a lot of different things. And for my Wacky Rig, I have recently started using the VMC Crossover ring. So the nice thing about the crossover ring, they are stored right here in the handle. So I can pull out the one that I want, take it and put it in here, and it's a squeeze. Take my stick bait, squeeze the handle, insert the stick bait, start to release the handle, and begin to work it off the end of the bait. Now, one of the nice things about this setup is that, I don't know if you can see here, but I can actually put the hook through this way or this way. So what you saw on that setup there is it was going parallel to the bait, but I can also go through the little hook spot, and I can do it perpendicular to the bait. So not sure how much of it you can see here, but I can have the bait like that, where it is crossways, or I can have the bait where it is parallel. So gives me some options. The bait will come through the water either way as I'm bringing it through, but it gives me an option on just a little bit different way of bringing the bait, so if the fish need to see something slightly different, they can. And as I said, I use a bobber stopper from Bass Pro Shops, the little bobber stopper packet. I like the all black, and a 1/16 ounce tungsten weight. Push the bobber stopper down, keeps the bait pegged, allows me to be able to skip it way up under the docks as I need to. On my Wacky Rig and my Texas Rig, the predominant baits that I used were the Terry Bowden's black and blue glitter stick bait, Terry Bowden's watermelon red and purple flake stick bait, and the Ace by Gambler in the bluegrass color. I could have also used the blue fleck, but the bluegrass is one of my favorite color flats. But that was my second attack. My third technique that I used, probably not nearly as much as the predominant one, but I used it more than the previous two, and this was my Texas Rig. Johnny Morris 7'1" medium heavy platinum with an 8-to-3-to-1 Johnny Morris reel. The difference this time is that the fluorocarbon that I used was 14 pound versus 10 pound on the two previous techniques. In this particular case, I used a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight with a Bass Pro Shops extra wide gap heavy hook. I believe this one's a 4/0. I still pegged it because I needed it to be there. I used this around boat docks. I used this along points. But it did allow me to fish down the edges of the docks and so forth at times when a fish might need to see something. Or if I felt like I missed a fish on the jig, I could cast this in there and get myself a potential bite. The predominant technique that I used on Grand Lake of the Cherokees was a jig. It is a Boss heavy cover jig. This particular one happens to be a 7/16 ounce. 1/2 ounce would work just as well. It is a shorter jig. It is also paired up with a Johnny Morris Platinum 7'1" medium heavy with an 8-to-3-to-1 Johnny Morris Platinum Series reel. This jig, from the end of the hook so forth, is only about 2 inches, so it's a very compact jig. The eyelet, instead of going parallel, is perpendicular, and it's kind of inset into the rounded head, which gave me a little bit more protection from the rocks. It is on 14-pound Bass Pro XPS fluorocarbon, and the trailer that I have on it is a Speed Craw, Ultra Vibe Speed Craw in green pumpkin or green pumpkin purple. That was by far the most predominant bait that I used during the tournament and caught the most and the biggest fish.
Miss Cheryl Bowen, one of our co-founders of the LBAA, come on up. She needs 8:28 to overtake the lead. Looks like she's got some fish. She said it's coming. Needs 8:28. Easily doing it. 11:40 on that sack. All right, round of applause. Your brand new leader right there, Miss Cheryl Bowen. Okay, come on up. Miss Chloe Barnum, come on up. She's got 5 fish in the bag. She needs 9:51 to overtake the lead. Let's see if she's got it. She's the young gun. She says she doesn't think so. 9:08 on that sack, just a little short, which is going to make Cheryl the champion. So, you just won a classic. Wow. 2012, I'm going off of memory. 2012, 2016.
And 2024. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the information beneficial. The equipment listed is the equipment that I had the greatest success with on the tournament. I would love for you guys to subscribe to my channel, and I do hope that the next fish that you catch is the catch of a lifetime.